am going to remind y'all of a question for a free tea and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching a Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro. Welcome to this edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. The summer of superheroes continues, and today is August 1st, and August 1st is well known as Spider-Man Day. So in this episode, I'm showing some love to the Amazing Spider-Man. Now I'm going to touch base more on him later on, but for right now, this is an abbreviated version of the show. I'm not going to give away a free t-shirt. I'm not going to do a throwdown showdown or any question segment. However, I will remind y'all of the question for a free tee, and I'll do the drawing for that question on the next episode, episode 533. All right, this is a Fantastic Four question. In the comics, which other Marvel superhero team have all four members of the Fantastic Four been members of? Is it A, Guardians of the Galaxy, B, X-Men, or C, the Avengers? Alright, here's some hints to help. The first hint is that this superhero team made their first appearance in their own book in 1963 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. The second hint, the name of this team is also a noun that means a person who exacts punishment or inflicts harm in return for an injury or wrong. The third hint, this team has always been referred to as Earth's mightiest heroes. The fourth hint, in the comics, the founding members of this team were Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Wasp, and Ant-Man. And then the fifth and final hint, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the founding members of this team were Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Hulk, and Hawkeye. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Alright, let's get to the comics I bought this week. Comic books I bought this week. Alright, here we go. First up is Absolute Wonder Woman number 10. The Amazing Spider-Man number 8. Batman number 161. Green Arrow number 26. Green Lantern number 25. Oh, check it out. Double cover. Iron Man number 10. Justice League Unlimited number 9. Phoenix number 13. Psylocke number 9. Silverhawks number 5. Space Ghost Annual number 1. Storm number 10. Superman number 28. Thundercats Lost number 2. Thundercats Lost number 3. The Uncanny X-Men number 18. West Coast Avengers number 9. And finally, Wolverine number 11. All right, that's 18, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 13,875. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for episode 533. In the comics, which other Marvel superhero team have all 4 members of the Fantastic Four been members of? Is it A, Guardians of the Galaxy, B, X-Men, or C, the Avengers? Now here's some hints to help. The first hint is that this superhero team made their first appearance in their own book in 1963 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. The second hint, the name of this team is also a noun that means a person who exacts punishment or inflicts harm in return for an injury or wrong. The third hint, this team has always been referred to as Earth's mightiest heroes. The fourth hint, in the comics, the founding members of this team were Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Wasp, and Ant-Man. And then the fifth and final hint, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the founding members of this team were Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Hulk, and Hawkeye. And I just want to throw this one in for free. This team's famous rallying cry is blank assemble. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on episode 533. Alright, it's August 1st, which is Spider-Man Day, and I'm showing some love to the Amazing Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man's real name is Peter Benjamin Parker, and his first appearance was in Amazing Fantasy number 15 in 1962, and it was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. And he was born and raised in the New York borough of Queens. And his powers and abilities are superhuman strength, speed, stamina, agility, reflexes and durability, ability to cling to solid surfaces, precognitive spider sense, genius level intellect, is a skilled hand-to-hand combatant, a proficient science and engineer, and utilizes wrist-mounted web shooters. Although, at one point, in observance of the Spider-Man movies that Tobey Maguire starred in, Spider-Man at one point had organic webbing. In other words, they came straight out of his wrist, just like they did in the Spider-Man movies that Tobey Maguire starred in. His team affiliations are the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Secret Defenders, the Future Foundation, Heroes for Hire, the Mighty Avengers, the New Avengers, the Spider Army, later called the Web Warriors. Now, Spider-Man is one of my favorite superheroes. I mean, I've been reading him. Well, I first started reading him when I started about a few years in, but I didn't really commit to it. I didn't really commit to reading Spider-Man until, I want to say, maybe 2005. And I read almost every issue of The Amazing Spider-Man ever since then. And my first exposure to Spider-Man overall was this animated series that first came on around the time I was born, but then I grew up watching old episodes of it, and I'm talking about Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And then another great exposure to it was when I was in a junior high and high school, and that I'm talking about the Spider-Man animated series that was on Fox from 94 to 98. And it was a series that my friend John Semper Jr. Developed, and there were other, and then he also appears in other forms of media. He even had his own live-action TV show in the 70s, in which he was called The Amazing Spider-Man, in which he was played by Nicholas Hammond. And then he also appeared on the big screen. Of course, he was played by Tobey Maguire, then Andrew Garfield, and now Tom Holland. I mean, Spider-Man has been always been that character that even when the chips are down, maybe when it seems all hope is lost, he always comes through and he delivers. And then he also believes in the saying that his late Uncle Ben used to say, with great power must also come great responsibility. There's a lot of truth behind that. I mean, a lot of times when we have a position or we're doing something, we have to be very careful with the way we go about it. Because what good is having power and not having responsibility, or just doing it any kind of way? That's no way to live. Anytime you do something, you do your best, you do no harm. And, well, that's it. Those are the only two do's. Do your best, do no harm. Yeah, please, sir. Please, ma'am. All right, this is a Spider-Man Comic Hero tee. If you would like one, you can find them on the new home of Comic Hero merch, which is Shopify. There's my info down there. Go and buy something. All right, here's the roadhead for the show. On next week's episode, this is going to be the last Summer of Superheroes episode. I'm showing some love to Batman's on-again, off-again love interest, Catwoman. And then on episode 534, which is the last episode I'm doing this month, I'm going to raise awareness of spinal muscular atrophy. And then I'm going to take a break for the rest of August. And with that in mind, meet me at the the Shreveport Convention Center on August the 22nd through the 24th. That's the site of the 10th annual GeekCon. I'm going to be a vendor there. There's going to be some other awesome vendors. There's going to be some great guests. Jason Lee and Ethan Suppley from both Mallrats and My Name is Earl will be there. Holly Marie Combs, Brian Krause, and Dorian Gregory from Charmed will be there. And then in celebration of the 35th anniversary of the movie, the actors that played the Turtles in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie will all be there. And also the actor that played Shredder will be there as well. There's also going to be some great cosplay models. I know my friend John Stout from Bastrop is going to be there. And then my other friend Michael Burns will be there, and then some other great comic book artists from different publications. Some like DC and Marvel, and then there's some like Image, and Dynamite, and IDW, and then even lesser known publications. But please, sir, please, ma'am, y'all come. Oh, excuse me. And sorry. All right, and also, meet me at the West Monroe Convention Center on November 8th. That's the site of the second annual Louisiana Delta Comic Con. I'm going to be a guest there. My friend John Stout's going to be a guest there. Shane Dyson's going to be a guest there. Jordan and Justice from J&J Cosplays are going to be there. My friend that I follow on Instagram, Pixel Vix, will be a guest there as a cosplay model, and she'll also be judging the cosplay contest. Oh, they also have cosplay contest over at GeekCon. So if you're a cosplay enthusiast, you may want to come to these two cons. And then also at Louisiana Delta Comic Con, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart will be there. Man, you know what? I love what I do. I love being a guest at cons, I love being a vendor at cons, and I love doing this show, and I love this hobby. And I couldn't. I mean, I've been doing the show for almost 12 years, and it's such a blessing to be able to do this, and it's a blessing to know y'all, and it's a blessing to just live. And I hope y'all consider life to be a blessing as well. All right, if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome. And as soon as you're done, hit subscribe. If you're watching this on the East Texas Comic Con Fans Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, go on YouTube, hit subscribe. If you're watching this on the Comic Book Lovers Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, go on YouTube, hit subscribe. And if you're watching this on the Louisiana Delta Content Creators Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, go on YouTube and hit subscribe. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on The Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 533, the final Summer Superheroes episode for 2025. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.